The full electron configuration for iron 3 plus is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, and then 3d5. And this is the full electron configuration for the ion of iron that's in the 3 plus state. And by the end of this video, you'll also be able to figure out the electron configuration for any atom or ion. You see, electron configurations are incredibly important for chemists. They can explain the bonding, reactivity, and even the shape of molecules. The tricky part is that students often struggle to write out the full electron configuration to understand where the electrons are in a system. But in this video, I'm going to show you a step-by-step method that will make sure that you always get it right. And make sure you stick around to the end because I'll give you some practice problems that should help for your next exam. Let's take a look at the electron configuration for oxygen and see what information we can tease out. The coefficients, or the numbers written in front of each of these letters, indicate what energy level each of these electrons are located. And those energy levels actually tell you how far away from the nucleus each of these orbitals is located. The letters S, P, D, F, G, etc. actually tell you the sublevel or the orbital in which each of these electrons is located. For example, the s orbital or the p orbital in the case of oxygen. And then the numerical superscripts actually indicate how many electrons are located in each of those orbitals. So for example, in the energy level 1, there is an s orbital that has 2 electrons. And since these numerical superscripts indicate how many electrons are in each orbital, if we were to add them up and take the sum of each of those values, they should equal the total number of electrons in the system. So oxygen is the 8th element on the periodic table, which means that in its neutral state, it should have 8 electrons. And if we add 2 plus 2, we see that that's 4. And then 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. So we have a total number of 8 electrons accounted for in our electron configuration. Electrons fill orbitals from the lowest energy, working their way up sequentially until they reach the higher energy orbitals. This is what's known as the Aufbau principle. On this side of the screen, I've drawn what's normally referred to as the Aufbau diagram, and I know that it can seem a little intimidating, but I'll show you how to use it to figure out the energy levels and how to fill electron diagrams. This is what's known as the diagonal rule, where if you are to write out the Aufbau diagram, which gets larger and larger as you go down each row, by adding one orbital to each row as you go down, meaning that we start with 1s, the next row will have 2s and 2p, the next row has 3s, 3p, 3d, and then the next row has 4s, 4p, 4d, and 4f. So if we use the diagonal rule, we can figure out what order the energy levels will begin to fill. Because the lowest energy orbital is the 1s orbital, so we can draw a diagonal to indicate that that is the first orbital that gets filled. Next, we can draw another diagonal to indicate that the 2s orbital is the next orbital that gets filled. And what this means is when writing electron configurations, you'll start with 1s and then go to 2s. And these will go in order from lowest energy to higher energy. Our next diagonal will actually intersect through the 2p and the 3s orbital, which means that the next orbital that I would fill would be the 2p orbital followed by the 3s orbital. Continuing to draw diagonal lines along this diagram, I see that the next diagonal will intersect the 3p and the 4s orbital, which means that the next orbital to be filled should be the 3p followed by the 4s orbital. Next, I can draw a diagonal line that bisects the 3d, the 4p, and the 5s orbital. So going in those orders, I should write 3d next, and then 4p. And notice that this is the first example of seeing these numerical coefficients which indicate the energy level not going in order. We actually skip over the 3d orbital and go to the 4s before coming back to it. So let's use nitrogen and look at this diagram to figure out how we should write the electron configuration for nitrogen, which has the atomic symbol N. Nitrogen is the 7th element on the periodic table, and therefore it has 7 electrons. So using the Aufbau principle, the first orbital that should get filled is the 1s orbital, which will have 2 electrons. The next orbital will be the 2s orbital, which again will have 2 electrons. At this point, we've used 4 of the total 7 electrons. So then the next orbital that will get filled, according to the Aufbau principle, will be the 2p orbitals, in which I can place 3 more electrons to give me 2 plus 2, which is 4, plus 3, which is 7 electrons. For bigger atoms with more electrons, this can start to become quite tedious. Consider argon, for example, which has 18 total electrons. In order to write the full electron configuration for argon, we would start with 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. This gives us 2 plus 2, which is 4, plus 6, which is 10, plus 2, which is 12, plus 6, which is a total of 18 electrons. There's actually a way to do this as a shortcut, which is known as noble gas configuration. If you look on a periodic table and find potassium on the periodic table, you'll find that it's element number 19, which means that it has 19 electrons. The preceding noble gas is actually argon. And argon, we've already indicated, has this electron configuration with 18 electrons. So rather than write out those first 18 electrons, we can actually bypass that by putting in brackets argon to indicate that we are indicating that there are the same electron configuration all the way up to argon. And then potassium only has one more electron, so we can write 4s1 to indicate that the electron configuration is the same all the way up to argon, and then there's that one extra electron in the 4s orbital. Now let's look at two more examples. Consider calcium, for example, which is the very next element, which contains 20 total electrons. Remember, that's one more than potassium and 2 more than argon, which means if we were to use the noble gas configuration, we can actually shorthand notation this by writing brackets with argon to indicate the 18 electrons that are present in argon, plus the 2 extra electrons that will be located in the 4s orbital that will get us to writing the full electron configuration for calcium. Now, let's consider the ionic form of calcium, which typically takes on a 2+ charge. Remember that that 2+ charge is indicating that there are 2 less electrons than there are protons. So in this case, there would be 20 protons, but only 18 electrons. And since we've lost those 2 electrons, when we write the electron configuration for ions, we need to account for that. And this therefore means that calcium in the 2+ ionic charge state actually has the same electron configuration as argon, because now it will only have 18 electrons. And typically, when deciding which electrons get removed, they're going to be the highest energy electrons. And since we use the Aufbau principle, and the last 2 electrons that we wrote for neutral calcium were those 2 4s orbital electrons, those are the electrons that we remove. Effectively, you can think of this as last one in, first one out. Or in other words, the last electrons that you write in the electron configuration are the first to be ionized. Now it's your turn. Pause this video and try this problem independently, then resume the video to check your answers. This is the symbol for sulfur with a 2- charge. Sulfur is the 16th element on the periodic table, and this means in its neutral state there are 16 total electrons. However, you were told that this was the ion that contains a 2- charge, and this means that there are 2 more electrons than there would be in its neutral state. So therefore, there are 18 total electrons for sulfur in the 2- state. Using what we've learned in this video, we know that we should start using the Aufbau principle by filling the 1s orbital with 2 electrons. Next, we'll continue by drawing these diagonal lines to indicate that we should fill the 2s orbital with 2 more electrons. Then we'll move to the 2p orbital followed by the 3s orbital. So then we'll put 2p with the numerical superscript 6, and then we'll write 3s, which gets 2 electrons. At this point, we've used 2 plus 2, which is 4, plus 6, which is 10, plus 2, which is 12 electrons, which means that we have 6 more to go. And for that, we'll continue along our diagonal, and I see that I need to fill the 3p orbital next, which should have 6 total electrons, which will get us to 18. And this is the full electron configuration for sulfur in the 2- state. And notice, however, that this actually has the same electron configuration as its nearest noble gas, which is going to be argon. So this would be the noble gas configuration for sulfur in the 2- state. If you check the description, I have thousands of practice problems that you can check out to help you ace your chemistry class. Drop a comment down below if you have any questions related to chemistry, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out on another video. I'll see you next time.